instead of doing this handheld version, you could just pull this one off, and I'm going to see how this affects my audio right here in just a second. If I pull this off, I believe this just, there you go. So it automatically switched over to this mic. Now you have the lav mic for you, the interview mic for somebody else, and if that audio sounded good, then BOYA just got they got my attention. Let's put it that way. BOYA's Magic Mic might be the perfect combo for anybody out there with the Insta360 X5. So I'm going to run you through a few things with this. We're going to do a full audio test, let you hear everything that's going on. The first thing that I will say is that this does fit within the stitch line, which is what everybody wants to know. So you can literally connect this mic straight to this, and you get essentially three different options with this. I would say kind of two, but there's sort of a third because you can use the two mics. So option number one is literally just this, as it is. I'm going to show you this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. All you do is hold this main button down. It's going to start flashing, and it connected. Look at that. Boom. It's right there. All right. So I've got noise canceling, which I can turn on or off here. So I just press this button, and now noise canceling is off. And yep, there we go. Okay. So now you can see the audio coming through here. And don't worry, I'm going to give you the audio in just a second. I just want to explain these things as we go. All right. If I press this button, it should, I think it's going to turn, it didn't do anything. All right, cool beans. So if I press this twice, I believe we're going to get mute, right? So now it is muted. No audio will be coming through, and you can see that right there. Ding, ding, ding. If I press this twice again, it's going to go back to whatever, or to the unmuted option. If I press this twice, I believe that doesn't do anything. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. So you press this once, and now we have the noise canceling back on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do our first audio test with this guy, and then I'll run you through the rest of these. So go ahead and start this. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is with noise canceling turned on, and the audio that you're hearing is coming straight from this. I'm going to hold it out kind of like in the middle for me. So this is about maybe like 6 to 8 inches away from me, but the mic is facing towards me. One thing you should know is that the mic is this top little mic right here, which I'll explain more about how this works in a second. This little grill is just for aesthetics. It's not doing anything. But if you wanted to, you could drop this on there, and now you've got this little mic that you can run around with and hold. It's actually got a nice little bit of a grip to it. You could always lift this up if you needed to, just a little bit. What I would say is you would want to know which side is facing which direction, so that if you are interviewing someone, you might want to have this pointing towards them. Just depends on what you're trying to do, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it away from me so now you can hear that with the noise canceling turned on, and that's what you could expect. Now, if I wanted to, I could have this more like right here. So let's just go ahead and pretend that like you had it right on your chin or whatever, where you would want it closer, and give you a little bit of that audio with the noise canceling turned on. This is what you could expect. So this would be kind of like option number one, is using it like a little interview microphone or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the noise canceling off. So just one press. Now the noise canceling is turned off, and you should be able to hear, I mean, still good audio, but it's gonna be a little bit more of the background noise around me, some of that stuff. And remember that the mic is facing towards me right now as far as the openings go. If I was to turn it around, now the mic is facing away from me, and it would be maybe if you were trying to ask somebody a question, you might wanna remember to turn the mic. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. We're about to find out after this test. Maybe the way the mic is doing the audio and picking stuff up is just perfectly fine either way. And if I was to turn it back here, it's going to get roughly the exact same amount of quality or whatever. So that's where we are. One thing to note is that you can change the decibel stuff in the X5. So if you felt the mic was a little too hot for whatever you were doing, you could always I mean, like it was peaking, like too much noise was coming through, it was too loud. You could turn it down or you could turn it up. It's got like -18 to +9 dB inside of the X5 as far as those controls. All right. So this would be option one. I'm going to go ahead and canceling back on. And now we are back to this. Now, one of my favorite things about this mic is the fact that you get these two things with it. So if you wanted to, instead of doing this handheld version, you could just pull this one off. And I'm going to see how this affects my audio right here in just a second. If I pull this off, I believe this just, there you go. So it automatically switched over to this mic. That's freaking sick. So this whole little case is a charger, among other things, but that makes sense now to me, because essentially what it was doing from the whole experience is that this is just a battery, and the button when you press this is just signaling this guy to turn on or off, or to put noise canceling on or off. So this is the mic that is getting all of the audio, which means that if I held it out here, we should be getting essentially the same audio that it was when it was just sitting in there. But you get that nice little like aesthetic little stick mount that you got. But you also get some other things with this that I think are pretty cool. Number one, we've got the little magnet right here. So I could just drop this right underneath my shirt, just like this. boom. And now you've got that standard kind of like audio sitting on your shirt sort of situation. And if I wanted to, I could press this button one time, and now we have the noise canceling turned off, so you're getting whatever that kind of audio. So the audio should not have changed when I moved it out of this, which is fascinating to me because it means that like you could have it in this position, and then if the battery was running low, you could just literally drop it back in here and it would keep recording, because this is just gonna tell it that it's charging. That is very interesting for anyone that's thinking about using the X5. Now, things are gonna get even more interesting when I pull this off. It's gonna be a mono track in post, but I wanna go ahead and show you this. Let's go ahead and turn the noise canceling back. All right, noise canceling is on, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull this guy off, and it should connect in like 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Oh, it did not connect. That's interesting. So let's go ahead and turn this guy on and see what happens. If I turn this on, okay, and now it's connected. Boom. And you can see that I've got both lights down there now. So really, really fluid movement between all of these things. And this is going to be doubling the audio, obviously, because it's a mono track. So between the two mics, you've got the magnet right there. You've got the clip option right here. Try not to make this too loud. And if you want to, you can put a little dead cat on here just like this, a little wind muff actually. Like look at that. And that clips on. I'm not going to push it all the way in because it's kind of loud to get off, but you can see everything that we're getting here. So if you're someone that has the X5 that was looking for a mic where you could have it in the stitch line, where you could walk around and do interview style stuff, and have two mics if you wanted to, like think about, actually, I wonder if we could do this. Let's find out. Let's find out. If I was to put this back in here, right? Did I lose? What just happened? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm not really sure how that just went. It's almost like it chose to... What happens if I put this down there? That just turned to charging mode. Okay, very interesting. So if I put this back in here, what happens? All right, so I lost the mic when I did that. I just switched back over to the Hollyland. So you lose the mic if you do that. My question is, what would happen if I had this one out and this thing connects? There we go. All right, so now I have audio coming from my second mic. What happens if I turn this one on this way? Can I do both at the same time? Yes, I can. So it looks like what you could do is you could pull the second one off. You could turn this on. Let me see if I'm getting audio here. Yes, I am. All right. And while you have this one connected to you, you could have this one running around. So let's find out. Is the audio still strong coming through here if I move that mic away? It looks like it is. So like now you have the lav mic for you, the interview mic for somebody else. If you had this like this, right? It's going to be a mono track, but like you could really let this be focused on the other people. That's pretty sick for a 360 camera. Like that's, man. I hope the audio sounded good. I believe it did. We'll go ahead and turn that back on and switch off of this. So, oh, and it kept the single front one going. It kept that one going. Wow. Wow. A lot of interesting opportunities with this little BOYA mic here. And I think if you're a 360 camera person, or if you're someone that likes to do street interviews and you want to be able to hold the camera and then have a mic on you and then be able to, you know, mic other people, but also get like the full video, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this guy up. I'll finish with the audio from this. Maybe if it sounded good, I'll use this audio as we wrap this up. This was the Insta360 X5 connected to the BOYA and all of the variations that you just got to experience. So pretty cool. And with this little set, I also got this. Now, oh, one last thing. This was sent to me as part of a collaboration. Let me go ahead and turn that off. This was sent to me as part of a collaboration, but I'm just doing, you know, I just test stuff out. That's all I ever do, is try and test stuff out to see how things work and if it would work good for you. So you get to make your own decision on it. The little USB-C thing just drops straight into this. Like, what? This is a really simple all-in-one grab-and-go kind of setup here. And if that audio sounded good, then BOYA just got they got my attention. Let's put it that way. All right? So, wow. Let me know if you have any questions about it. I'm more than happy to run other tests. That's what I like to do. That's why I have this channel, is to give you the information you need on the stuff that you want so you can make the better buy. Remember, you're either going to sink or swim, so let's rise with the tide, and I'll see you on the flip side.